Hey, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today's session promises to be a very, very insightful and educative session. So I can see that just very few people have joined. So I'd like to, but can you just all confirm first that you can hear me in the chat box? Please, can we all confirm that you can hear me in the chat box, please? Thank you, Chidi. Thank you, Olumide. So thank you so much, everyone, for confirming that. Welcome, everyone, to today's session. So, please, I'd like to ask that we give every other person like 5 minutes for more people to join. This is 11:01. Then we'll start proper by 11:06. I hope that's okay with everyone. So we're starting the session by 11:06. This is to allow more people to join. Then we'll start the session proper. Thank you. Okay, so good morning once again, everyone, and welcome to today's session once again. Thank you for those that are starting introducing themselves in the chat box. Welcome Al Amin. Welcome Al Amin has introduced himself in the chat box, and for every other person too that's introduced themselves, thank you, Shubumi. Shubumi sells snacks and she also sells toys. Sunday, welcome also to you. A good welcome to you. Welcome every single one of you to today's session. And today's session promises to be another very insightful, very educative session. We'll be learning a lot on, you know, collaborations, cross-industry collaborations. Now, one of the reasons why I've asked that we introduce ourselves in the chat box is to, enable us, you never can tell. Partnership is very big for business owners. Now, there's a saying that goes, no man is an island. So we really need each other to thrive, and you never can tell while introducing yourselves in a chat box. You might find someone that you can collaborate with. Probably you are in a cake business, probably the person is into flour production, and you need flour to make your cakes. The person needs customers to buy their flours, just those sort of examples are ways in which we can, partner together with other business owners like ourselves, and from there we grow our business. My name is Omotayo Akinwumi. I'm the business support officer here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. I know a lot of you on this session are joining the session for the first time, while some of you are joining the session, you know I've been joining our session so far this year, and I'm very sure you'd agree with me that there's no session that we've brought to you on our platform that you've not learned from. And today is no different, and you'll be learning a lot as we brought someone who is very vast in that field, who would be able, to take us through what cross-industry collaborations is. This is the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, one of the things that we try to do is to help, reduce the rate of unemployment by assisting businesses with access to finance. We also assist them with capacity building opportunities. We also provide access to training opportunities for those within the ages of 8 to 35. Now, for our loan programs, we have them in three different categories. We have our MES loan, which is micro enterprise startup loan. And in this category, we have you are able to lend between 50,000 and 250,000. And we also have our ME loan, which is micro enterprise loan. In this loan category, you're able to borrow between 50,000 to 500,000. Then we have the third loan category, which is our SME loan, where you're able to borrow from 501,000 to 5 million naira. So if you would like to, have access to these loan facilities now, we operate a single digit loan interest, which is 9%. So if you're willing to, if you really want access to finance, you can walk into any of the local government close to you. We're in all the local governments in Lagos State, including 6 LCDs. So you can walk into any local government close to you, and our officers there will be on hand to attend to you and to also help you with whatever you need as it concerns our loan programs. Now, aside from our loan programs, we have our capacity building programs, which is where the business support comes in. Now, we have our various capacity building programs. We have our webinars, we have our master classes, we have our advisory sessions. Now, under our advisory sessions, we have our HR advisory sessions, we have our legal advisory sessions, we have our marketing advisory sessions, we have our risk advisory sessions. And then we also have access to market opportunities that we'll give to business owners here in Lagos State. So if you're a business owner, you reside in Lagos and you'd like access to finance, now you have to be on the lookout, because next month the Lagos International Trade Fair is coming up, and these are some of the opportunities that will give business owners in Lagos State access to. So if you're a business owner in Lagos State, you like to exhibit at the Lagos International Trade Fair, just be on the lookout for posts on our social media handles at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund on all social media handles, so that once the application to apply for all these opportunities come out, you don't miss out on it. I know there are a lot of business owners that would like to, probably exhibit at the Lagos International Trade Fair and looking at it that, okay, or maybe you feel, or you don't think you can have access to it, or maybe you are limited by one thing or the other. Just be on the lookout, but indicate interest through the forms that will be shared on our social media platforms, and you know it gives you an opportunity to be one of those that will be picked to exhibit at the trade fair this year. We also have other access to market opportunities that will give business owners in Lagos State. So if you're a business owner in Lagos State, just be on the lookout. Follow us on all our social media platforms so that when opportunities like this come up, you don't miss out on it. We also have our business registration opportunities that we give to business owners. You have a business that you need to register. You need to register your business name. Be on the lookout also for our applications. We are currently registering free business names for business owners here in Lagos State. So these are some of the opportunities that we have here on offer at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Aside from this, we also have our employability units, and under that unit, what they handle basically is you're within the ages of 18 to 35, you'd like to acquire a skill, probably fashion designing, you like to acquire anything in makeup, construction, and the likes, and you'd like to acquire this skill, you like to acquire maybe a digital marketing skill, anything tech related also, you'd like to acquire these skills, please be on the lookout. Follow us on all our social media platforms so that you don't miss out on all these opportunities. Or you can even walk into any of the local governments close to you, and our officers there will be on hand to attend to you. We also have our Lagos Innovate Unit that deals mainly with those that are in the tech space. You have budding tech ideas that you like to bring to life. You have you are in need of workspace, and you need it to be subsidized for you. This is where our workspace vouchers come in. So these are the opportunities here on offer at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So like I said earlier, walk into any local government close to you. Our officers are there and they are on hand to assist you with anything that you might need as it pertains to any of our programs that is currently ongoing. So follow us on all our social media platforms. Like I said earlier, turn on your post notification. Now, this is very important because you do not want to miss out on any of the programs that we have on offer. You don't want it to be that probably when the program is all done, that's when you're just getting to know about it. So please don't just follow us on all our social media platforms. Turn on your post notifications so that for every single post that comes up that has to do with opportunities, you also don't miss out on them. Thank you so much, everyone. So today we have with us an expert. I would like to call him. We have with us Mr. Olusegun Ayeni. Now, Mr. Olusegun, for more than 30 years, has functioned as a consummate marketing and communication professional that transverse the entire spectrum of different industries, such as banking, insurance, pension management, aviation, and transport, technology, telecommunication, hospitality, education, distributive trade, and every other thing that you can think of, offering critical business support services in advertising, in marketing, business management, strategy development, brand and branding, and reputation management, among others. He has worked as an advertising practitioner and founded an advertising agency along the line. Now, as the executive director, corporate services of the Origin Tech Group, a diversified end-to-end agribusiness value chain group, he oversees different aspects of the business, such as business development and partnerships, purchasing and supply chain management, corporate communications and strategy, facility management, fleet management and logistics operations, and general administration. Now, you agree with me that Mr. Olusegun will do justice to this topic today. So please, can we all welcome our facilitators for today, Mr. Olusegun Ayeni. Mr. Ayeni, please, you can take over, sir.
Thank you so much, Momi, for that warm introduction. Uh, I feel a little flattered when you read out all those things I want an opportunity to have done in the past. Thank you so much. Um, Now, the way to start for me will be trying to pop in my screen. Okay, here we go. So we're talking essentially on cross-industry collaboration, spotting unconventional partnership opportunities. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Excellent. So that is what we have there. Thank you so much, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, for having me. It's actually also very interesting, among me, when you are reading out all those things that this interesting body is involved with. I'm actually very, very impressed. Oida, who works with you, is like a daughter also. So hearing this, I didn't know you have this depth of services that you offer to individuals and companies, small companies in Lagos State. So kudos to you. Keep it up. So to the subject at hand, I believe that this is an interesting area, given the fact that some of us are not so big, maybe MSME, medium and small enterprises. So we cannot um, get to where we need to be most times on our own. So we need help. And obviously that's why LSETF is actually here. So that kind of help can come. And that help that it can offer you can also leverage within the sector that you operate in, even both within and across. So what I've done essentially is to prepare, a few slides. I've added some snippets in there that I think might be interesting to you. And I want us to just go through the slides and to leave ample room for Q&A thereafter. So let's dive in. I don't know why my slide is not. Okay. Business opportunities are like bosses. There's always another one coming. If we have been doing business for a while, you will know this person who said this. It's not a person, Richard Branson. Richard Branson is the founder of the Virgin Group, which composed of so many businesses. Virgin Atlantic is being one of the most prominent ones. So what I usually do, I set like agenda is for us to look at what LSETF has set for me to delve with. So more or less just trying to list it as they put it in the approach communication. So first, I thought an introduction might be important. Business firms are organized and empowered differently. So because of this, they have different systems, and of course, when you are in business, you play to your strengths. And when you play to your strengths, sometimes you then need to push for thinking and, to further drive workplace innovation. So in a way to close the loop and leveraging different capabilities, businesses are able to grow organically and foster a consumer-first mindset. So if you're in an industry, I mean, there are obvious opportunities that are there. Either you can spot on your own, or the ones that you can collaborate with another company, either within the same sector or outside of that, or outside, that you both can leverage on, to grow your business. I used to say this in the past 10 years that the best time to be alive in human history is now, because everything is now possible. Think about all those things that we cannot attain. Look at the amount of information that is available. Look at the technology. Look at every aspect of human endeavor. I believe this is the best time to be alive in human history. So what is cross-industry collaboration? I'll define it simply as purposeful and structural alliance between entities operating within distinct sectors of the economy. More often than not, this might take a local or international form, and it involves strategic pooling of resources and expertise to foster innovation, and more often than not, also it creates new value positions. So typologies of cross-industry collaboration. So we can see two distinct cross-industry collaboration. One is intra, the other one is inter. When you talk about intra, you're talking about within an industry. That's players in the same industry. Let's say, for instance, telecom, maybe MTN and Airtel coming together to collaborate on a particular project. That's intra cross-industry collaboration. And one I can also give you is between one Airbus and Boeing on the A380 program. A380, by the way, I'm sure some of you will know, the largest commercial airplane developed by Airbus. These endeavors actually started between this duopoly, that's Airbus and Boeing. But at some point, Boeing had to pull out, and then Airbus had to develop A380 program on their own. The second one basically is inter. That means is within your industry, outside of the industry, and this is the one that is very common. And it's multi-sectoral collaboration in nature. That is alliance of players from many sectors or industry. So as the case studies that were presented, we'll see. So I'll keep that till that time. So why cross industry collaboration? Why is it important? Why do we need it? Why should we even do it? So sometimes fast changing market trends is a huge driver. That's the reason why you have to collaborate, because apparently sometimes you are looking at some players in the industry who you have the technology, they have the market reach, and you think, oh, the way to accelerate is by actually collaborating with this particular player to reach your own goal. Like I said, sometimes it's for you to you do this because you want to accelerate market share and to optimize your revenue. Some other time is to blend complementary strengths to address complex challenges effectively. You are both powers in a particular industry. You know you can't do it on your own. You need this other person to fuse together to be able to confront this particular challenge. Some other times you're looking at is to lessen or eliminate the financial burden often associated with high R&D costs. Sometimes somebody has already done the hard work, the heavy lifting has been done by somebody. So what is then left for you is to say, okay, how can I leverage on what that person has done? So you can actually collaborate with such person using what they have already uncovered by way of maybe research, and then using that research, taking it together, and then using it to meet your own goal and objective. And in plethora of cases, actually is to gain access to a large pool of expertise. Sometimes to get experts in particularly complex fields, it might be very prohibitive at the cost of bringing them on. So, if you avoid that cost, so you may collaborate with somebody who already have those expertise in their toolbox. So, of course, for markets and for data. So I think we should just take this, like I said, I put these snippets just to break some of this as we go along. I'm sure some of us may have heard about this principle, 80-20 rule. That is 20% of your client will be responsible for 80% of your revenue. So I'm sure maybe the Q&A can throw quite a bit of question on that, but it's a principle that is there out there and is working. I mean, if you understand it, you'll be able to use it to enhance what you do, your business. Now, how to evaluate, how to identify and evaluate potential partners. There are quite a number of things that you can look at, particularly if you are already thinking about these. So again, you look at governance architecture of the potential partner. How are they governed? Do you have a management system? They have board of directors? Generally speaking, you just look at the organization, see whether there is some kind of alliance that if you get into them, you'll be able to work with them, given their governance architecture. Use case scenario. What are you trying to? What's the end goal? Because again, you will have thought through this process. You'll have decided that, oh, this is my objective. These are my goals. And so the end game is like playing God now. God knows the end from the beginning. So you already know, see, you have a vision of where you want to be. So you already decided that, oh, these are the things that this is kind of project that I want to do. And so you look at those sort of use case scenarios. Culture tie-in, you can't collaborate with somebody which you are not in agreement with. Basically, I mean, like the Bible say, unless two agree, they cannot work together. So you need to look at that critically, whether what they are doing, how they are structured aligns with yours, because without that, it won't work. So you look at complementarity, whether they have some skill set that complement yours, or whether you are compatible, essentially. So those sort of things, you need to look at them critically. Strong sense of mission. I mean, if you want to collaborate, you want to collaborate with serious institutions, the ones that you have seen what they've done, their mission, you like their mission, the mission, and you've seen the track record of what they have done. So that's kind of institution they want to collaborate with. Particularly, they are a big institution, and maybe you are a medium company, for instance. So you want to look at that. Maybe you also want to, some of the things you need to also look at is historical data. What's the market position of this company? Do they post good results? Do they have a good return on investment? Do they have this large pool of addressable suspects that may work for you? Do they engage in R&D that you may want to leverage on or take advantage on? So that's also one particular point you may consider. High-tech field with huge barrier to entry. Some of these high-tech area technology, is not easy in terms of initial cost that you have to put in. So if somebody is already in that thing, it's a barrier for a small business to be. So you can take advantage of expertise that they have because they have the power, to bring all these kind of experts on board. So you can actually collaborate with such institutions. So essentially, these are not exhaustive. You can have more, but these are what I consider to be the most important things to look for when you are actually considering collaborating with an industry partner. Now, I said that, okay, so looking at all of those, there are area of potential pitfalls, which usually come through when you are trying to collaborate. So we have to watch and look carefully toward this. I said industry time may be fraught with significant risks, and that's very true. I remember the Boeing and Airbus collaboration I mentioned about the A3 program. When Boeing pulled out, Airbus has no choice; they have to continue with it. Of course, it's turned out to be not so bright idea, even though the aircraft is beautiful. They plan to produce to break even in terms of what the development cost of that program. To break even, they need to produce 750 planes. However, they were only able to do 251. So it's not been a success at all. So that sort of thing can happen if one is not properly checking what you're looking for. So thorough research is necessary to manage any exposure to unanticipated risk, because every day we wake up, we move, we do things, there are risks. So we have to put our eyes on those factors, those risk factors, and manage them every day. So it's very, very important. Research will help you do that. Ahead of time, you have to define what success look like, because again, if you are going to a collaborative situation, you need to have the end at the beginning, and then that has to be agreed, before you go you get into that sort of agreement, so that you're not jeopardizing your potential benefits, such as you may want to have say, oh, if I join with this person, we're able to drive this high volume sales, this level of sales, and what have you. So we have to watch against that. Most collaborations also we have unpredictability of outcomes. You don't know what be the end result. So it may not achieve the intended purpose. So when this is noted and known clearly, it may be prudent to pull the plug quickly. Moving on. So I just also put one of my snippets here that sales is the ability to find out what your client needs are and communicate your value proposition. Hmm? So what case studies do we really have, in this to prove that this is actually happening? It may be happening more than you ever think. This, I mean, cross-industry collaboration. As you can see here, we have Tesla and Panasonic. What do they work on together? Uh, they work together to advance battery technology for electronic vehicle. As you know, Tesla is an electric vehicle, while Panasonic is electronics, and they've been doing this for a long time in terms of all these battery power devices, that they have done. Another one that you would see on the slide is Ferrari and Formula One. Ferrari, as you know, is a fast-moving automobile that has a lot of value, and then combined with Formula One, so you see high-performing machine for breakneck speed on Formula One racetrack. Another one that I think is notable is Google and Novartis. Google, as you know, I'm sure everybody know Google here. Novartis may not be very familiar with us. Novartis is a pharma company, so they combine with Google to create smart contact lenses to monitor glucose level. I think you will agree with me that that's a fantastic new value proposition. So if you just have, let's say, something that you can use to monitor your glucose level for health reasons. Another one I can also point out on the slide, Apple and Nike. They created the Nike plus iPod to merge technology with athletic wear. People are talking about wearable now. When people are doing size, you see them wearing a smartwatch just to monitor their movement, their exercise, their blood pressure, their breathing, everything you can monitor through those sort of things, so that you can prevent accident during these sort of activities or exercises. Starbucks and Spotify, of course, that combination developed curated music playlists to enhance customer experience. In case you are thinking, oh, these are foreign, it's a local one, that a few local collaborations I can point to, MTN Flutterwave. That collaboration makes it easy for seamless mobile money transaction using MTN large coverage with infrastructure of Flutterwave. And then another example I can point to is a Sahara Power Group and Pan African University. At some point in Nigeria, there are not many. We don't have the kind of expertise that we need in the power system. And power, as essential it is, we need human resource to be able to run in this industry. So Sahara has to partner with Pan Atlantic University to develop manpower for the sector. Another notable one I can point you to is Dangote and Jumia that was forged to enable large transaction of cement, And then I'm sure people on the call may be familiar with this. GTB sponsored this event every year, this food event, and that event has created huge brand equity for the bank, for the annual sponsorship of the event. The next one I can also point to is the Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Group of Man Association of Nigeria and Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria and May and Baker. They collaborated to create a pharma product called Niprisan for sickle cell disorder. So, and then another one is SCCR, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Back of Industry for Innovation and Incubation Hub. And then the last one, last but not the least, Fish Perfumery and Mattel, a luxury fragrance brand and a premium cognac, created exclusive experience that blend high-end scents and taste. So you all agree that this thing is very, very common, So in case we're not thinking about it, it's a very common thing that people do, industry do, players do, just to leverage on different strengths, be able to come out with something that they will be able to present in the marketplace. So, I mean, this is just a teaser, like I said, just to tease you. If you realize that in 1903, the first flight took 13 seconds. 13 seconds, 1-3. Now there are jets that can basically fly non-stop for 24 hours. So when I said to you that this is the best time to live in human history, it's not empty. So it has a lot of things that can go around with it. So imagine that for a moment. So it just depends on where you want to go, really, and the ability of the airlines to fly that route. So there are jets that can fly 24 hours, starting from when we were just able to do 13 seconds. Amazing. So the world keeps changing and fast too. So I thought I could also drop this in. So when we're doing a bit of cross-industry collaboration, just like broadly thinking about the areas you look at the area of planning. You're trying to synergize a scalable e-commerce scenario. I'm sure some of those people on the call are in sales, are in manufacturing. So you use some of these skill planning tools to be able to reach out to your market. Market look at opportunities, and then design. I'm saying that what you then need to do is coordinate e-business application with brutal uniformity. One of the things about brand and branding is that you have a voice, a tone, and every time you are engaging your market. So it's important that you keep it at the back of your mind. Strategy at the fourth one, you foster holistically superior methodology. What we try to do is strategy is to see using interplay of various factors to get ahead in business. That's simply what you want to do when you are in business, whether in manufacturing, whether in sales, whatever you do. So, and in launch, try to deploy strategic networks with compelling e-business needs. So I say tips for successful collaborations with industry partners. So the first thing to do is to identify mutual goals and objectives, understand different objectives. What is your own objective, whether it fits with that proposed partner you have there. So that agreement has to be for you to be able to be on the same plate, basically. So I think the next one I say here is to research potential partners and the offerings. I said it before, but I can never say it enough. The critical element in trying to forge collaborations with industry players is to know them. If you don't know them, it will be very, very difficult to be able to achieve it. You can go into it, but if this is not done thoroughly, along the line, there might be hiccups that may not enable the collaboration to work and to achieve the desired end result. So in that wise also, people are going to different agreement arrangement. So what am I bringing to the table? If you have intellectual property, you are bringing all of those, you have to talk about them. So what am I bringing? What are you bringing? So this is my IP. This is yours. So everything has to be on the table for ones to know, so that you are not accused that you are copying somebody else's work without authorization. So it's important to think about all this and actually bring them for conversation at the initial stage. I also put here, it might sound very little, but it's very, very important. When you are trying to forge collaboration, you have to contact those partners through appropriate and official channel, not back channel. So if this is what you want to do, usually if you understand corporate diplomacy, You know the partners you already see, you have checked them out, you believe this can go further, then you have to approach them at the appropriate and official channel, actually maybe through the leadership of the company or through official means. Uh, Next one is to state clearly the intention of the collaboration. What is the end goal? It's very, very important to know from the beginning so that you talk about it, you keep a clear communication, you keep clear expectations. So everybody's on the same page. So when you're moving forward, it's not something that then will come as a shock. People don't like shock, particularly when they're in business. You know, business, they want predictability day in, day out. They want to be predictable. Anything that is not anticipated can cause shocks in the system, and businesses, investors don't like shocks. They want normality. So everything goes on well. And if there are key developments, maybe risk element they have not thought about, it can cause a lot of disruptions to uh, business management. So that should be, we have to bear that in mind when we are proposing cross-industry collaboration. The last, surely not the least here, is to say, why am I going to go into this collaboration? So you have to propose specific collaborative ideas and projects. Because what's the point in collaboration if those are not clearly set out? So we have to understand the objectives, timeline that this will happen, and the sort of budget, that we will need to execute it. But collaboration does not necessarily mean that you are going to do a piggy ride on somebody else's back. It will cost you money. So it will cost the other person resources too. So all of this needs to be discussed to understand a clear understanding of what this will entail. Whether it's even possible at all, whether it's attainable. Using your smart measures to look at them. Something that is specific, measurable, achievable. That is time bound. So all of those things we need to do them. I'm trying to race through the slides so that we can have ample time to actually the Q&A section. Going forward, so I said key steps to when you have checked this your potential partner. You've checked them out. You think this can work. You have a fantastic uh, project you already outlined that you can work on. Both of you are in agreement. I think the first thing to do is to talk to your lawyers to do a non-disclosure agreement. That's NDA. That means once we sign that, the information that you get from us, you cannot disclose to a third party without our authorization. So you get this document together, your lawyer will be able to prepare this for you, and then both parties will sign. But once they sign, it becomes binding. You cannot disclose information that you disclose to that party, and they cannot disclose that information to another party. So that binds their hand. So usually NDA will lead to MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, where you will then sign that, okay, so things have been agreed by us, and then we are willing to abide, we're willing to do this. You already outlined it, and those steps will be taken, and your lawyer can also help you in designing an MOU that can be usable for this purpose. So that can then lead to development, partnership, agreement, depending on what kind of collaboration are we talking about. If it requires development, maybe like real estate, for instance, so you then have to develop a partnership agreement, DPA, where both parties will be binding on both parties, and it will give provisions for meetings, those particular things that you will have anticipated everything that is possible. So how to adjudicate, whether to go to court, whether to go to alternative dispute resolution, or those things you will put there, timing, what you are bringing, what the other party is bringing. So clause by clause, all of these things will be there. And then if both parties are in agreement, they sign. So it will be similar to what a joint venture agreement can be. Sometimes this collaboration can lead to the spin-off of a special purpose vehicle, which means what you are now setting up is a different company from those two collaborative partners. So you decide that this is also big enough that I can have a life of its own. So both of you are collaborating to form this company. So that agreement can come, useful at this stage. So say, okay, maybe areas to focus on when you are doing this, market scenarios, what will it be like? Uh, you probably want to start thinking about developing winning strategy to keep ahead of competition, because any which way, whatever collaboration you are going to go in, it's not a party, it's meant to resolve a new value, to create something new that will push to the market. Okay, and the second thing to think about as far as market scenario is all about is to capitalize on low hanging fruit. Sometimes when you are doing something, particularly if this endeavor seems big, you need that critical low hanging fruit to win quickly. When you win something, this hormone that is triggered, and so, oh, this is we're on the right path. So you need to have that, and then to give you a bulk pack value that you can then use to continue to be in that collaborative venture. Visualize customer-directed convergence is simply saying that you make customer the centricity of this. It's about customer. So it's like planning an engagement system whereby it's all about customer. So how to talk to them, how to engage them, and things like that. So the other arm of it is opportunities within. I'm saying iterative approaches to corporate strategy, something you can refine, something you can always optimize. So it's important that you think through about all of these things. Establish a management framework from the inside is very important. Even though we might be small today, but we need to start thinking like those sort of big companies that we admire. And then what do those people have? They have management, they have structures, they have functional areas, of the business that they are already doing to able to propose and to confront the marketplace. So even if at this stage, some of those institutions, because we are MSME, we cannot afford all of that, but you have to put that as a part of the plan. It's a vision for the future. So we're already planning and making moves, to begin to establish systems. Rejig your governance architecture, part of what I just said. Top quality management, board of directors, board committees. These are things that make company tick. When you get to a level in your business life, you need to have all this architecture already ingrained into your company. So you have management that's distinct from the board of directors. And then, of course, board of directors function through the committees. Okay, so any aspect of the business, so the board will form committees to deal with those sort of issues. Moving forward, so say how to get there. Essentially, what are you trying to do when you are considering cross-industry collaboration? You want return, apparently. So what you then do is important also to envision multimedia-based expertise and cross-media growth strategies. Okay, visualize intellectual capital and engage worldwide methodologies with web-enabled technologies. We're looking at niche markets, pursue scalable customer through sustainable strategies, engage top-line websites with cutting-edge deliverables. The third one that I put here, supply chains, cultivate one-to-one customer service with robust ideas, maximize timely deliverables for real-time schemas. Okay. One of the things that we need to look at when we're already in this relationship, collaborative environment, what are the things that we need to do? What are the kind of tools that we need to have to be able to measure where we are? So it's very, very important that we do this, because at the end of the day, I mean, if there's no traction in that, it will probably be a waste of your time and that of your partner as well. So it's important that we check along the line. Interestingly, there are a lot of tools out there that you can use to measure the impact of what you are doing. So the anchor or trigger for selection of any of those will depend on what you are trying or what you are going to be measuring. And I can recommend a few. Story Map JS, a clever tool for creating interactive multimedia narrative that can be used to tell the story of project impact and engage audiences. Uh, Jeffy, a powerful desktop-based tool for analyzing and mapping complex interactions. Although it's very limited, if you consider a web tool, that have more functionality, but nonetheless, it's still very useful. Miro offers a versatile online whiteboard for real-time collaborative brainstorming, mind mapping, and strategy planning. That's templates for impact marketing. We live in a different world now. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Some of these things have been created for you. All you need to do, there's some free of this online that you can actually download if you don't want to do a paid one, so that you can use nothing too fanciful. But again, I also recommend that sometimes some of these things we can do what I can call a proprietary uh, tool, because you are the one in that relationship. You know exactly what you want to measure. You know the impact you expect because you have already planned all this along the way. So you might be able to design something that will be useful for you, not all these sometimes fanciful tools, that may be very problematic in trying to, achieve that desire. So it's important that you take note of all of that. And when you're already in that relationship, we need to uh, measure, we need to optimize, we need to encourage where it has to, just to make it work. The last one on that is Mora, which allows teams to create visual maps, process flows, and story maps through a collaborative online workspace. Moving on. So a summary of what I've said in the last 39 minutes thereabout. It is indubitable that the quest to actively seek and indeed pursue cross-industry collaborations can help firms leapfrog. You don't need to reinvent the wheel if you already know that somebody is done what you are planning to do, but they're not there yet. So you can collaborate with that particular partner to create something right. So it might be faster, it might be cheaper, and so trying to get into the market faster and cheaper may be the ultimate objective. Said here that organizations thrive because of their ability to consistently and sustainably shape offerings in the marketplace. So collaboration helps you to be able to do that, creating a different value propositions for your position and to increase revenue, to increase shareholders' value. So those are the things you are considering when you're considering cross-industry collaboration. Forging alliances and cross-industry collaboration may be a key driver to growth, one, which means again, as entrepreneurs, as managers of business firms, we need to have a growth mindset. And then that growth mindset means we want to move from progressive from point A to point B. And we're always checking, how this firm started 5 years. So where are we 5 years time? Where are we going to be in 10 years time? So when you're looking at all those sort of issues, you'll be able to then do like a graph, plan your way. How am I going to do it? How am I going to reach my objective in 5 years, in 10 years? How am I going to, given all the, particularly if you operate in Nigeria with all the instability, FX issues, market issues, cost issues, and what have you. So it's important that when you have such a plan, consideration can be given to partnership and alliances to help you move ahead. I've also said finally that efficiencies will come from proactively transforming business through partnership. There's no question about that. The person talking to you here, so interestingly, in my office here, I oversee partnership and alliances. And for what we do, we are an end-to-end agricultural company. So we form alliances with federal government, state government, even associations. For instance, we have a tractor business. In a bid to sell more of our tractors, we have to form alliance with Tractor Owners Association of Nigeria, in which case we have to sell a lot of tractors through them. We did not only sell tractors to them, we were able also to help them with financing to acquire those tractors. Because we know that farmers, because most of the times, farmers in Nigeria, smallholder farmers, they cannot afford tractors. So we assisted this organization to be able to assist them. Because what this as well does is to actually place these tractors uh, with these farmers for their use, so that enhance food production in Nigeria. And then the initial setup cost is borne by us and the association, and the farmer just pay for access, what they use, and that works. So in a nutshell, collaboration is an important element of business management, and not just important, but it's also a smart and clever way of trying to forge progress, forge advancement, to grow, and to increase threshold in the marketplace. So thank you very, very much. I think we have a lot of time to have interaction. Happy question and answer. I will be happy to get your feedback. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eni, for such an insightful session. I'm very sure a lot of us have learned today from a lot of what Mr. Eni has taught us today on cross-industry collaboration. I have a question here from one of the participants, and the person is asking, how can a startup founder survive the big boys investors without being taken advantage of when it comes to signing agreements?
Say that again. The initial one.
Yes, the person said, how can a startup founder survive the big boys, in quotes, investors without being taken advantage of when it
Okay.
comes to signing agreements?
Okay. The whole things boils down on the value proposition, what you are bringing to the table. So there's something like big boy, small boy, kind of a thing. I mean, so you will not allow yourself to be bullied, because at the end of the day, you know the value of what you are bringing. Unless there is no value in what you are trying to do, that's what anybody can value you. Some people, they, particularly in the technology business, they intentionally just go about to create businesses to interest those big boys like Google, like Facebook. So that's their intention from the get-go when they are doing all this. So if you are really sure, and we have examples of such takeovers in the past, when people create something that is really, really very valuable. For instance, I'll give you something I use all the time, and you may not have thought about it. Instagram. Instagram was not created by Meta, parents of Facebook. It was purchased for $1 billion from the owner, right? Even WhatsApp was not created by Meta. It was purchased for $19 billion. So nobody can take advantage of you when they see what you have is valuable. So and you yourself, So you will not sell your invention cheap to anybody, or sign any agreement uh, that will not work for you. In case of trying to do a business, that's why sometimes who are the category of people that will fund a startup business. It might be very funny. You see, they say friends, family, and fools, three Fs that will put money in a company that has no income, has no revenue. So, but again, I mean, this is where you start from. When you don't go to the big boys yet. When you are starting a company, go to your friends, go to your families. I don't want to say fools. Those guys are angels. They are experienced people who in business, and they don't really mind to assist upcoming startups, to be on their foot. Because essentially, everything you can take up in this world runs on ecosystem. So there are people that their own life goal is to see business develop, and they're there. So research will show them, particular, it depends on the field that you are in. So they are always there. I mean, look at what LSETF is doing. So they're like angels, they're like business angels who are trying to help companies to develop. Because when company becomes strong, they can stand on their own. They employ people. When they employ people, they are creating opportunity. And then when you are creating opportunity, you are creating product. When you create product, people are buying those products. If you are paying for those products, it means you can put more investment, you can expand it. So that's the whole essence. So it depends on honestly on the value that transaction is all about. So it's not something someone cannot just take advantage of something that is very, very strong. I hope that answer your question.
So I hope that answers your question, our anonymous person. So I have a question here in the chat box by Sunday One, and he's asking the tools for mapping and tracking collaborative impact. Can these tools be used for individual business tracking? I think he has two questions, and he's asking also that when one collaborates with another firm in or industry, can they be considered as partners?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is. Let me answer the last one. You are partners. I mean, in any conceivable way you want to do it. So that's why I said critical steps and I outlined those documents. So if somebody believes in something, they should be able to put pen to paper. So if they are unwilling to sign, it means they don't believe in it. So, and in my life, I've signed so many of such documents, NDA, MOU, so it shouldn't be difficult. I'm signing with, big, small players, depending on the value they are bringing to the table. So it's very important. So once somebody signs with you, you're in partnership, relationship. So that's why it's called partnership and collaboration. So you're a partner to them. So on the tracking equipment, honestly, tools rather, I would suggest when you are still small, you go to, because you already decided what success means to you. So what are the things you are going to be measuring? You can develop small thing yourself, nothing fanciful, but you can go through some of these things are online. Just Google them, see how they work. So if something that is can work for you, you would know. But there are tools, some of which I've used in the past because we're also a big firm. So we have resources, we have guys in IT who enables us to be able to use some of these tools because they are really IT tools, so it may be advanced, depending on the kind of business you are in. So, but if you have the IT understanding, IT resource like we do, they may not be very difficult. So, but what I would say to you is that if you're a small player, just what I would think do you do? Look at the business. So, what are you measuring? So you have to ask yourself that question. What does progress mean to me? So if you're able to outline all of those, you may see that you don't need all these fanciful uh, tools, really. So you just do something that works for you. Your simple Excel can do that. Maybe by the time you outline that and then what value you are attributing to particular segment, when your outline. So and then you can and then you move along, you can then introduce more advanced tracking tools, so that's what I'll say.
Okay, Sunday, I hope that answers your question. I have a question here also from Jane, and Jane is asking, please, what about a consortium type of arrangement to achieve or apply for a type of funding? Is it part of it, especially if they are in the same industry?
Of course, absolutely. Consortium, you can from 2 to 5, depending on the number. You just say too many and spoil the broth. So it depends also what the whole project is all about. If it's a huge project, I mean, for instance, let me give you what we're doing. We are building the biggest storage facility, food storage facility in Ekpe for Lagos State government. So you will realize that needs a lot of expertise from funding, from construction, from equipment supply, all sorts. So at the end of the day, depending on that project, you may see yourself having a consortium of companies coming together to do a project, to collaborate, to partner to do a project. So that is not unheard of in the world. So there are plenty of them like that, that you can see. So it's very, very possible to have a consortium.
Okay, Jane, I hope that answers your question. So just before we go to the next question, there's a poll that's been launched on your screen. Please, your feedback is very important to us. Please kindly fill this poll. Please fill the poll that is has been displayed on your screen. Thank you. So I have another question here from Adironke. Adironke is asking if after that's AFCFTA
Mhm.
intra-African trade, how do
Mhm.
Nigerian companies benefit from this? And what are the strategic first steps to take?
You mean the Africa Free Trade Continental? Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. I'm happy that you're asking that kind of question. If you see, if you understand the position of Nigeria in Africa, we are the largest population. The average age of we have a youthful population as well, and the average age is 16.95. So everybody believes that this is the market of the future. So whatever you are producing right now, you need to start honing your skills, start thinking design, start thinking the look and feel of the brand. If it's a branded product, start thinking that way. Because what are people going to put resources behind is what they can see. Basically, it's not unlike the ITIL. Maybe somebody is talking about payment system. We have a lot of payment system, at the moment right now. But in fact, because of that AFCTA, Nigeria will be it's a nation of the future. To be honest with you, in terms of consumerism, because of population, because of a lot of other factors, size, it just it makes it a natural, what I can say, natural marketplace for Africa, and it will be. And possibly because also we have not done a lot of things that we need to have done. I mean, look at the implication. Our population is growing so fast. So if population is growing in an environment like this, you need a crutch, you need nappies, you need a lot of food. I mean, so many things that we need because of who we are. Essentially, we need housing, you know. So if you pay attention to environment, I mean, you see, don't listen to all these people on WhatsApp and all of that. You're a business person, focus on those things, and honestly, you'll be shocked what you see. Look at the traffic on your road every day. What do you think in driving that? So people say there are 139 million poor people in Nigeria. You just laugh at them because they don't know what they're talking about. So if on our own, go and look at the financials of Lafarge, financials of Dangote, where are they putting all those cement? Where are they going? So, and these are people doing trillions of naira every year. So this is the marketplace of the future. So whatever you are doing, that's AFTA, you can see a lot of companies even coming to Nigeria to establish, because the thing is you cannot bring uh, products outside of Africa to come and sell within this block, within this corridor. So you need to set up. So that's part of what we have to do. So we need to set up right. Fortunately, the ecosystem is not very robust. So I think that's what we need to start doing, and trying to create that ecosystem that would offer support. Ecosystem like Lagos State Employment Education Trust Fund, so to create that ecosystem that is required to help small business, to offer counseling services, incubation, to help with innovation, things like that. So because those are the things that will become critical, in the next few years. So I hope that answers your question, Sunday.
So I hope that answers your question. So I have a question here, and someone is asking the difference between partnership and collaboration. That is partnership and same as collaboration?
Yeah, essentially yes, because it's partners that collaborate. So the way of just semantics. I mean, for instance, I'm saying my role, one of the roles that I oversee, it's called partnership and alliances. So who are the people that collaborate? They are partners. So that's just it's the same. We use. I cannot say it's used interchangeably, but it's the same. If you are collaborating with somebody, it means you see yourself as partners, even if it's not specifically mentioned. But essentially, that's what it is. You are in a partnership situation. It's just that sometimes, if it's something serious, it must be formalized. It cannot just be something you are just having a chat with somebody and you are doing that. So if it's not written, it doesn't exist. So it must be written somewhere. Both parties must agree. So you are in a partnership situation.
Okay, so do we have any more questions? For those that are joining us on our YouTube and on YouTube that are joining us, that are streaming via our Facebook platform, that are joining us via our LinkedIn platform, do we have questions so that Mr. INE can take those questions? I can see. So, David, you're asking for the slides. Yes, you get the slides in your mailbox. That's David from Facebook. You get the slides on your in your mailbox. So please, if you have questions, please do drop your questions so that Mr. Eni can attend to them. I'm trying to go through all our other platforms to be sure that we're not missing out on any of the questions that might have been dropped there. So for those that still have questions on the Zoom platform, please do drop your questions in the chat in the Q&A box so that your questions can be attended to. Okay, so in the absence of no other questions, I would like to appreciate you, Mr. Eni, for taking time of your busy schedule to take us through today's session. Please, can we appreciate Mr. Eni in the chat box? Can we please appreciate Mr. Eni in the chat box? Thank you so much for all those that filled our poll. Your feedback is very important to us. And this is the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. My name is Omota Akinomi, and we'll be having another session next week. So just do join us for our financial advisory session next week. We'll have our partners coming up to take us on our financial advisory session next week. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for today's session. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayeni, for taking our time off your busy
Pleasure.
schedule to take us through to this session today. We really appreciate you, sir. And we are hoping that we'll be able to, engage you more for future sessions for participants. We really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
No
And
problem.
thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. And do join us next week, Tuesday. We'll be having a financial advice session next week, Tuesday. So please join us for our financial advice session next week, Tuesday, where our partners will be taking us on smart finance for small businesses, from bookkeeping to business growth. So if you'd like to be a part of this, I really do feel that this is one session that you do not want to miss also. And I'm very sure we've learned a lot from today's session, and next week's session also promises to be another educative session. So I've dropped the link to join our session next week in the chat box for those that would be joining. Please do click on the link and ready to register so that you don't miss out on the session next week. So thank you, everyone, for joining today's session once again. Thank you so much, everyone, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much also, Mr. Ini, once again, and enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Very much, Omotayo. Nice having you.